872. And if you're wanting to contribute under the name of the Institute of
I wear Georgia work boots, not Golden Goose GGDP.
It's not the golden goose. The goose for the gander.
What is it? Golden Goose.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, Andrew.
It's a shoe that these clones are wearing. Golden Goose GGDP.
All right, buddy.
But I just wanted to show you I've got Georgia work boots.
And I'm Billy the Kid. I'm also Billy.
See, I wear Georgia work boots.
I have a wounded head.
Golden Goose.
I got a bullet wound in my head.
What is it? I'll show you guys later. But if you'll look at the pictures of these famous people on the internet, Instagram, and all that, they're wearing Golden Goose, and they're like $600, $700, $800 a piece. How can anyone afford that?
If you're rich as
And
hell,
they're ugly. They look used. Yeah, it's because all the clones are using them. Golden Goose.
It's good for the gander. There you go.
Golden Goose. They look like Converses. All right, I gotta go.
All right, man. See you later, there, Billy. That was Billy the Kid. He has a wounded head. He wears Golden Goose gander boots. For real. There's the house of the Lord. The holiness to the Lord. And then there, over to the right is the Vatican. The Vatican City. St. Peter and Paul Basilica. And to the right of that is the Art Museum in Philadelphia. Has an unusual landscape to it. Probably doesn't mean anything. Just an unusual parking lot where you would park your lot if you were casting lots. A lot of construction going on at the front of that snake. Wrapped in blue. I wonder why it's not wrapped in red. This is the Peter race. Peter's race. The next few days, I get to live in a, it's a reality that most people would think isn't a reality, but I'll live in it. It's my reality. And for the next few days, I'll give you a tour. I'll give you a tour of what I think will happen in the next few days. And just don't be there on that time. And it's not because I'm a terrorist, even though I terrorize the demons. But everybody should have that ability to terrorize demons out of your own head. But it's because I had a strong, eager desire to hop on YouTube 3.5 years ago. 3 years and 9 months ago. To kind of see what's going on in the world and show people that I believe everything that has happened on the news, all the killings and murders, like the people normally die regularly, but the way they're saying it isn't the truth all this time. So when you see bombings of mass destruction, you would understand that nobody died because they had a way to get everybody out. Because there's a warning. I've been warning about this building for a while now, depending on different times. But I just wouldn't be there around 5:55 a.m. in the morning on New Year's Day 2021. And I also wouldn't be here, Liberty 1, I wouldn't be here around 7:11 a.m. either, because it seems like there's a Target, there's a sunglass place in between, come out of the darkness, and then there's another building on the other end called Liberty 2, 16th Chapel, at the top of the 16th Chapel. There's a point on the top of the 16th Chapel. Up here looks like that would be where you would view the action taking place, the darkness from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. And then at 8:48 a.m., you don't want to be anywhere near the Liberty 2 building, which is 848 feet tall. But how would I even know? Well, I don't. I'm just taking a guess. My subs can vouch that, a lot of them can vouch that I'm just a false prophet. I make predictions. Nothing ever comes true. So this is just another one. You don't have to take me serious. But this time I would advise you to take me serious, just because of the advice that I've been given through my spirit, which is warn people that this is going to happen in Philly now. Just warn people one last time, knowing that you've said it before. You are the boy who cried wolf. Except for Christmas Day, I mean, I have to give it to you, Robin. You know, this is Henry talking to Robin, that, I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. I'm not that kind of guy. But on December 25th, 6 a.m.-ish, exactly, it was 6:30, a bomb went off in Nashville where people were gnashing their teeth, and there was no music being played because it was quieting down the music, and everything's starting to get quieter even though it's getting louder. A lot of things are shutting up and shutting down with a lot of noise. But there's something about it this time around that on Christmas there was a big time explosion, and the only person that died was the very considerate suicide bomber. So he died to himself instead of letting other people die. So what was his message? Was he given power to continue for 42 months? Or is that power just about up? Look, if you have a better idea, then you would be taking over the reins of the 42 months when someone was given power to act. They said it was an intentional act. The bombing, isn't everything intentional? I remember Click was telling me that guy drew a picture of him with a dead sheep on the side, like behind his ear. He didn't know that a dead sheep would actually be talking to him behind his ear in a spiritual realm either. But who believes that? When you have Christ in your spirit, Christ is now literally behind your ear. He's the one giving you direction. So I'm just telling you, that's where I'm getting my direction from, the Spirit of Christ. And that Spirit is telling me, don't worry about people calling you false prophet. Who cares? You've heard that before. Just warn them one more time about New Year's Day, a 7-day notice from that bombing that happened at Nashville going into Philadelphia. Taking 3 buildings with you and disrupting communications, because at 17th and JFK, early in the morning, around the 6th to the 9th hour, the darkness, the stage is set because it's all an act. I'm telling everybody, this is all stage, it's all play, nobody's dying. That was proven by that bomb in Nashville, that a whole entire city block can be destroyed with nobody dying, except for the script of the bomber himself. As that becomes a thing, then you start to take that fingerprint and move to the next city. Nobody really got injured except for 3 people, but that was the one, just because those 3 ribs, there are 3 ribs that are injured. They still have their life. (16th Street), and on the back of a $50 bill, you fold it up, it gives you the identical look of 17th and JFK, Penn Center Building 8, Chase Bank. These are facts that you can look at. I mean, it's not a fact that it's on the back of a $50 bill, but it is a fact that it's very similar. You cannot possibly deny that the windows are rectangular, they're rounded, and they're green. And it looks like smoke is coming from the 3rd floor. I mean, I've predicted this like at least 100 times. None of them have come true. Not one incident happened here in Philly that was exactly what I predicted. So you can just look at me as a false prophet. Let's say I'm right about this one this time. Then what? If I'm right about this one this time, and the communications are taken out because it looks like a rock thrown through a window. Right, Corey? And the area, it's amazingly similar to that $50 bill. And the fact that Joe Biden was standing in front of the Chase symbol when he took his inauguration, his victory speech, when he didn't even win yet. Right over here is where that water seemed to, pay attention to me. It shut down at 8:47 that one day on October 21st, 2020, and then it rose back up a few seconds later at 8:48, the same day that JK was showing you Barack Obama is on his way, reading 8:48, stay still, know that he is God. And a few months before that, July 8th, this same weird thing, like similar thing happened where that water sprouted up out of nowhere when all year long there was no water. To the best of my knowledge, I never seen water, I know that. But to the best of my knowledge, there was never water sprouting up in Philly because everything was shut down. And then it sprouted up all of a sudden. right at that time, at the 8:46 to 8:48 mark. Didn't actually record it, so it's somewhere in between. All I do is just ramble on, just talk, just keep rambling. Don't pay me any mind. I've made many predictions that never came true. Why would you take me seriously this time? What, just because a bomb went off in Nashville? So what? That was in Nashville. It wasn't in Philly. I said Philly. It wasn't the second 9/11 either. It only happened on 2nd and Commerce Street. It's not like it was in Philadelphia, that bomb that went off at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And you did say it between the 6th and the 9th hour in Philly, but you said the 6th and the 9th hour. You weren't exact on saying the actual time, like 6:30. Yeah, you said 6, but it wasn't 6:30 exactly. And you're given this long 3-hour span of darkness in the skies. Well, I mean, technically, yeah, the cars were on fire as they were showing you around 9:11 a.m. Still, the darkness was actually from the 6th hour of the bombing in the car. But you said darkness like as if it was the sky was going to go dark. So you're wrong about that, even though there was darkness over the land for those hours. But it was in Nashville where everybody's gnashing their teeth. It's not in Philadelphia. Why would you take me serious this time? Remember, the guy already committed suicide that did the bombing in Nashville on Christmas morning. I was just expecting a bomb to go off in Philadelphia on Christmas morning. There's documentation proving that very fact, and I was expecting nobody to die when it does go off. Was I expecting that they would tell you nobody was going to die? Man, I mean, that one, no, I didn't really expect that one. But I do expect that more often. Like the truth being told, the actual truth. So what did that Nashville bombing do besides get you prepared to see and understand that it is possible, very likely, that at the time of the bombing, no lives were lost. Lives were lost at the 9/11, the first one, because 2,977 people, they sacrificed their lives. They were murdered quietly. It was quietly, because they when you accept anything all throughout the world, where everybody's heading right here, right down this lane. Everybody around the world is heading here. Just don't cast your lot. Don't cast your lot. And the symbolism around here. Where's that dead sheep at? Is it still there? It's amazingly similar to the sky view. To think what you're walking around as you're just walking around the path of the art museum. The parking lot art museum. So the guy was unusually thoughtful of others, to give them a warning, to let them know that this bomb's going to go off. Everybody needs to get out of here. You need to evacuate. But see, that guy, I love when water floats all over the place in the pocket. That guy apparently that was his remains. So that's like a closed case. Done deal. Over. Quick over and out. To think that this was all created when it was unaltered. There was no St. Peter's altar here. It sure seems like this is St. Peter's side, and then Paul represents the other side, the clean side, where the clean side of the Logan Square to the William Penn building, because the one V is unaltered. It's just a bush garden. The other one has a cut down the middle, and then you come down further, you get this big alteration, because it's one big dead sheep, because at the end shows you where the sheep hits a wall. Like, oops, no life here. You're donating, but the receiver's not able to adequately translate that donation into a human life. So what's similar to Christmas in my mind before Christmas? What's similar to Nashville and Philadelphia? Well, I thought what happened in Nashville would be similar to happen in Philadelphia. I thought on the 25th that in the 6th hour, bombs would go off, because that's what I've consist the second 9/11 with. I've always started out with saying that the script would be, you set off a bomb somewhere first, or a car accident or something, or a threat of a bomb, or the bank robbing. I had all kinds of ideas to get the attention of the people to get out of the way. And then the RV does a similar thing. It gives you 15 minutes twice to get up out of the way, and then the bomb's going to go off. And they did clear everybody out of there, because they knew it was going to happen that day. So they made sure that everybody got out of there safely. Nobody even got injured except for the 3 that were going against the 4th, who's far more richer than they all. Not richer because of money per se, but richer because there's now a spirit inside of the 4th one. This isn't Kansas anymore, Toto. So Kansas is calling me. The 4th one's far richer than they all, because he has the spirit. He's rich in the spirit. Plus, it doesn't hurt to have like ownership with U.S. currency. So the similarities are, there's a warning ahead of time. I'm warning you ahead of time, but who's going to take me serious at this time? December 28th, 11:54 a.m. 2020. I had a similar vision of how it would happen in Philly. My vision of how it would happen in Philly would be a script being written, because I've been saying all along nobody's dying on these events. All along. No, nobody's dying. Over in where you're gnashing your teeth at, they could have easily said even 100 people died and you would have believed it like it's nothing. It's actually harder to believe that nobody did die. And that's my whole point that the dragon is showing you right now. Yes, they do have the ability to create something to let you know that this is an act. We're not really murderers. We're just actors. We're really good at scaring you. We create Hollywood movies. and they just have their Hollywood movie on the go. Live, in person, unannounced Hollywood action movies. That was the scene that you saw over at 2nd and Commerce. The lady lived on the 3rd floor. She knows about 17th and JFK. She left with just the clothes on her back because she didn't go back to get anything out of her house. Or go, if they were on the rooftop, they wouldn't have come down, but they were already out. So they went over to view the action at the stadium. The Nashville, I don't know if it's football or baseball. I don't remember what stadium they called it, but they went over there to take a view, to watch the action. Same thing with the link. The link. I keep hearing all about the link. Clicking the link below. Philadelphia, watching the action from there as well. But the angel, the one that creates all of the events that we see according to his will, the serpent, I feel like he's going to have a closer view of the scenery, the second 9/11 scenery in Philadelphia. He would have the best view, and the best view, in my opinion, would be the William Penn building up at the top, because you can see fire come from heaven in the image of, well, there's going to be fire coming from heaven, right? Whether you want to attach an airplane image to it, you want to attach a missile to it, whatever image you want to attach to it, you can see it. So when you attach an image to the 59th floor on Liberty 1, you're able to see it from the William Penn statue up top, where that's where he'll be at, watching it. And you can also orchestrate how the way that again, this is all script. This is my vision, how I see it. I'm just a person from the outside looking in. I mean no harm whatsoever. I'm just warning people of the ridiculous visions that I have in my head as to what I think is going to happen. You can take it or leave it. I do understand that if I ever get one dead on, right, correct like this, I will be getting locked up for it. There's no doubt about it. And questioned, but I will get back out, because I'm not guilty of doing any harm. I'm actually warning you people that it's going to happen. Nobody knows how it'll happen except for the ones that are doing it. So then when I'm saying I have nothing to do with it, I'm from the outside looking in, it's because I've been studying the people that are doing it. That's how you know. You would see the 59th floor getting hit with something that you can say on the news that one of the theories would be that it was an airplane and the pilot lost control and lost communications with somebody because of quite possibly see, when the bomb goes off at 17th and JFK at Penn Center Building 8, Chase Bank, because it represents the closings of the closures of the entire banking system on that exact day, moment, 5:55 a.m. New Year's Day in Philadelphia on 2021. It can't be any more specific than that. If you see that happening, then you're going to know that at 7-Eleven, Liberty 1 is going to get hit on the 59th floor as well. And that's going to be where it's blamed on the pilot. But beforehand, if a bomb goes off, what that does is it disrupts the communications at the Comcast Center, which is directly catty corner. You know, CHOPS, where Seattle had the CHOPS at the beginning, ACAB and 1312. The Comcast building, they're going to lose communications as well. And that can also be the cause of why an airplane would lose control at a certain point, because that communications was disrupted. And then because there's darkness for 3 hours, similar to Nashville's darkness for those 3 hours, where it started with a bomb and then it continued with fire, cars being on fire for at least 3 hours. The same thing where the sky itself, when the bomb goes off at 17th JFK, because the people that are blowing up the buildings are the ones that own the buildings, but you're not gonna know that either. That's how they know that they can make sure that people, if they're there in the way, they would just have to make themselves obvious and known that that's who they are. That way you can get out of the area so you don't get hurt. So at 7-Eleven, you have the Liberty One building, which is representing the male component. And then you have the Liberty 2 building, which represents the female component. At 7-Eleven, Trump did say he was there. Oh, man. Trump did say he was there at 7-Eleven. But where was he at on 7-Eleven? Was he somewhere on July 11th? Was he somewhere on November the 7th? Or was he somewhere at 7:11 a.m. in the morning, where there's a certain event that happens, it takes place? Then you have then you got Liberty 2, where if you go to Liberty 2 at around 8:48 a.m., because Liberty 2's building is 848 feet tall, which is such an amazing similarity that happens, where you have a building that's exactly 848 feet tall. Then you have a building next to it that's 945 feet tall. When that building gets hit, you know you have 45 days, because that's the time where it took to get the abomination desolation set up and the daily sacrifice taken away. It took 1,290 days to find out who the daily sacrifice is, to take him away, and then to get the other one set up. But for the sake of the elect, those days shall be shortened. That's why it's only 45 days and not 1,335 after that. And at 8:48 a.m. is the last hit.